For almost 2,000 years, 15 columns of ancient Greek text remained unseen. These words were not lost forever, they were simply waiting, hidden in ash, carved into stone, or stuck deep in the cracks of history. The voices of ancient people were never truly gone. Now, with the help of artificial intelligence, or AI, the silence of centuries is being broken. Secrets that were believed to be lost forever are now coming back to life. From scrolls that were burned by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius to strange symbols that are even older than the pyramids of Egypt, machines are helping us understand hidden pieces of history. The past is speaking again. One example is found in the area of Europe along the Danube River. Thousands of years ago, long before the Great Pyramids were built in Egypt or the first powerful cities rose in Mesopotamia, a group of people lived in what is today Serbia, Romania, and Bulgaria. They left behind clay tablets marked with strange symbols. For many years, experts thought these marks were just decorations or maybe simple drawings. They believed the people who made them did not have a real written language. But when researchers used AI to study these tablets, the results were shocking. The AI discovered that the marks were not random at all. They followed patterns, like a real language. This meant that the people living there almost 7,000 years ago may have had a way to record their thoughts, beliefs, and knowledge long before we thought possible. These messages might have been used to describe religious ceremonies, give warnings, or even mark the stars in the sky. If true, this would mean that these people created one of the first known written languages on Earth, even before the famous writing of the Sumerians. The discovery changes how we understand the history of writing. It also shows that this ancient civilization was far more intelligent and creative than we had believed. They were not just simple people making pretty shapes in the mud. They were early thinkers and storytellers who may have tried to preserve knowledge for future generations, knowledge that almost slipped away from human memory. While these people used symbols to tell their stories, in the land of Mesopotamia, the people of Babylon were writing something very different. They were writing about fear. In the ruins of Babylon, under layers of sand and rubble, archaeologists have found tablets broken into many pieces. These tablets were made of clay and had strange wedge-shaped marks called cuneiform. Scribes in ancient Babylon carefully pressed these marks into the soft clay to record all kinds of things. Stories about gods and kings, important events, and even rules for daily life. But some of the most mysterious messages are the ones about the sky. Babylonians watched the sky closely. They believed the stars, the sun, and the moon could send messages or warnings about what was going to happen. Some of the tablets talk about omens, signs from the heavens that warned of floods, famines, or war. Others tell stories of powerful gods who could bring peace or destroy cities. Over time, many of these tablets were broken or lost, and the stories they told became hard to understand. But now, using AI, scientists can look at thousands of known tablets and fill in the missing parts. They can find the most likely words that used to be there, and slowly, the full message becomes clear again. As these ancient words are brought back to life, they give us a chilling look at how the people of Babylon thought about the world. They lived in fear of forces they could not control. Every bright star or dark moon might have been a sign of danger. They recorded everything they saw, hoping to make sense of it. Some people today wonder, were these just myths, or were they ancient memories of real disasters, written down in the only way those people could explain them? The warnings that the Babylonians left behind might still matter today. What if they really did see something coming from the sky that changed the world? Could we face the same danger again? While Babylon looked to the sky for signs of doom, far away in the desert, another group of people was trying to hold on to their beliefs and their way of life. In the desert caves near the Dead Sea, a group of people long ago hid scrolls that told the story of their fight to survive. These scrolls are now known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they include some of the oldest known versions of texts from the Bible. For many years, the scrolls lay untouched, hidden in jars and crevices. When they were finally discovered, they were in very bad condition. Some were burned, others torn, and many were faded by time. The scrolls contained powerful messages, rules for living, stories of prophets, and songs of hope. But some scrolls were almost impossible to read. They had been broken into hundreds of pieces, and the writing had faded so much that no human eye could see it clearly. This is where AI became a powerful tool. By scanning the scrolls using special light and comparing the results to known letters and words, AI can slowly recreate what was once there. It can put the puzzle pieces together and help scholars understand what these people were really trying to say. The people who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls lived at a time of great danger. They were part of a small religious group that believed the world was ending and that they had to stay pure and faithful. They were likely hunted or driven out by larger powers. They hid their most important writings in the caves to keep them safe. Now, nearly 2,000 years later, AI is helping us read their last messages. These messages tell us about how they lived, what they believed, and how they tried to keep their knowledge alive, even when it seemed like the world was falling apart around them. All of these stories, the symbols of the Danube people, the fearful stars of Babylon, and the secret scrolls of the desert, remind us that the past is full of voices. Some spoke through clay, others through stone or ink. Many were almost lost forever. But thanks to AI, we can now hear them again. Machines don't just see patterns, they can find meaning, complete missing sentences, and recognize languages that no one alive today can speak. These tools are giving us a second chance to learn from our ancestors. We are finally able to read what they were trying to tell us. These ancient messages show us that people long ago were not so different from us. They had fears and hopes. They wanted to understand the world, to explain the stars, to save their knowledge for the future. And they used the best tools they had to do it, whether it was clay, symbols, or scrolls. Now we are using the best tools we have, AI, scanning machines, and computers, to bring those messages back to life. This journey into the past is not just about learning history. It is about listening. Listening to people who lived and died many centuries ago, people who had something important to say. They might have been warning us, or teaching us, or simply trying to share their stories. Whatever their message was, we are finally hearing it again. And as we do, we might find that their voices still matter today. For many years, ancient writings have sat in silence, waiting for someone to finally understand them. These writings come from many different parts of the world, and most people could not read them for a very long time. They were written in secret ways, using symbols, drawings, or strange letters that nobody today could figure out. Some of these texts were found in dusty old rooms, carved into stone walls, or even hidden in cloth and songs. People have wondered for centuries what secrets they might hold. What were these people trying to say? Were they sharing wisdom, giving warnings, or just telling stories about their lives? Today, with the help of artificial intelligence, or AI, those old voices are finally being heard. AI can read in ways that humans can't. It can look at thousands of symbols, patterns, and even broken pieces of stone or paper, and slowly put them together like a puzzle. Piece by piece, AI is unlocking the secrets that people of the past left behind. Some of these secrets are beautiful, some are sad, and some are deeply powerful. Many of them were hidden on purpose, because the people who wrote them were not allowed to speak freely or because someone wanted their messages to be forgotten. One of these lost languages was called Nüshu. It was created in the villages of Hunan, a province in China, by women who were not allowed to learn how to read or write like men were. For many years in ancient China, women were told to be quiet, to follow rules, and to stay inside their homes. They were often treated unfairly and had few rights. But these women found a secret way to speak to one another. They made their own language, one that only they could read. They didn't write it in books or on stone walls. They sewed it into cloth, sang it in songs, and passed it along in letters. The Nüshu script looked beautiful and flowed like water. But it was much more than art. It was a powerful way for women to connect and express their sadness, their hope, and their strength. They wrote about the hard lives they lived, their dreams, their friendships, and the pain they felt when separated from loved ones. This language became a private world just for women, hidden from the eyes of the men who ruled over them. For a long time, Nüshu was almost forgotten. Only a few people still knew how to read it. That's when a group of researchers from around the world began working together to save it. With the help of the Nüshu Rescue Project at Dartmouth College, and led by a Chinese scholar named Zhou Shuoi, Along with others like Kathy Silber and a researcher named Oreo, the team used modern tools to begin decoding it. They started with just 35 pairs of sentences written in both Chinese and Nüshu. From there, they used AI to study the letters and try to understand the emotions behind them. Slowly, the stories began to come to life again. As the words were translated, they revealed a powerful truth. These women were not just writing about pain, they were also resisting in their own quiet way. Even though they had no rights and were often silenced, they used Nüshu to fight back. Each line, each song, and each embroidered message was an act of bravery. These women refused to be forgotten. Now, with technology helping to bring their voices back, their stories live on, demanding to be heard and respected. They remind us that even in the darkest times, people will always find a way to speak their truth. While Nüshu was being brought back to life, another mystery was being uncovered far away, in the land of ancient Egypt. Underneath the heavy stones of the Great Pyramid of Giza, a new secret has been discovered. For thousands of years, people have studied this famous pyramid, trying to understand how it was built and what secrets it might hold. Many thought that every part of it had already been found. But in 2023, a new project called Scan Pyramids used advanced tools like thermal scanning and something called muon tomography to take a closer look inside, without moving a single stone. What they found was shocking. Behind the entrance of the pyramid, they discovered a hidden hallway nearly 30 feet long. This corridor had been invisible until now. Not only that, but they also found strange heat patterns in other parts of the pyramid, signs that more hidden rooms or spaces might be waiting to be uncovered. These discoveries have led to new theories. Were these hidden rooms used for secret rituals? Could they hold ancient treasures? Or were they meant to fool robbers, making it harder for them to find the real burial chamber? Whatever their purpose, these findings change everything we thought we knew about the Great Pyramid. It was once believed to be a simple tomb, built to honor a pharaoh. But now it seems it may have been something more, perhaps a puzzle, filled with secrets meant to last forever. The builders of the pyramid were incredibly skilled. They understood things about engineering, security, and meaning that still surprise modern scientists. Each new discovery makes us realize how little we truly know about this ancient structure. As the silent stones begin to speak again, they offer us new clues about the people who built them, and the mysteries they tried so hard to protect. At the same time, another treasure trove of knowledge was waiting to be rediscovered in India. In the city of Kolkata, inside the walls of the Asiatic Society, there is a massive collection of old manuscripts. These are not just any writings. They are 52,000 ancient texts written in Sanskrit, Prakrit, and other old Indian languages. These pages hold the wisdom of India's past, covering topics like science, medicine, math, religion, and more. For centuries, only a small group of scholars could access them, and even then, many of the writings were too damaged or too difficult to read. But a project called Vidvanika has begun to change that. With the help of AI, researchers are carefully going through each manuscript, line by line, word by word. The computers can help fill in missing parts, recognize faded letters, and even understand grammar rules from thousands of years ago. What they are finding is amazing. Some of these texts talk about ideas that seem far ahead of their time. There are writings about planets, health treatments, and ways of thinking that seem incredibly modern. Some people now wonder, were these ancient thinkers far more advanced than we believed? Did they know things that were hidden away because the world wasn't ready to understand them? Each time a new line is translated, it brings us closer to understanding a deep, rich part of India's history. These texts are not just old words. They are windows into a civilization that was thinking, exploring, and dreaming in ways that still inspire us today. While India's old scrolls are finally being read again, across the seas in Greece, broken pieces of marble are starting to reveal their stories too. Greece is famous for its myths, philosophers, and beautiful ruins. But scattered among the stones are pieces of writing, inscriptions that once told of laws, rituals, and political events. Over time, these inscriptions broke apart or faded. Many were almost impossible to read. But thanks to a new AI project called Ithaca, created by Google DeepMind, Researchers are now rebuilding those damaged writings. The AI studies thousands of stone fragments and uses patterns to guess what the missing parts might have said. With its help, historians are finding out that ancient Greece was much more complicated than we once thought. These texts reveal stories of power struggles, secret ceremonies, and public lies. Some of the messages were even scratched out on purpose, to hide scandals or erase people from history. Now that the marble speaks again, we're learning about the dark side of democracy, and how even in a society known for freedom and thinking, people still try to cover up the truth. These writings make us rethink what we thought we knew about ancient Greece. They show that history isn't always told fully or honestly. And sometimes, the truth waits quietly for centuries, buried in stone, until someone finally listens. As Greece's marble stories are pieced back together, Egypt once again enters the story, but this time with its ancient hieroglyphs. These symbols, carved into temple walls and written on papyrus, were once the heart of Egyptian writing. But many of them had faded or become too damaged to read. Worse, some were stolen or lost over time. For hundreds of years, people could only guess what many of these texts meant. That changed when Google's AI project called Fabricius began to work on decoding them. This AI used thousands of known hieroglyphs to learn the style and meaning behind the symbols. Using a method called neural style transfer, it was able to guess what missing or broken hieroglyphs might have looked like. Suddenly, lost stories about kings, gods, and rituals began to come back. Some texts talked about royal commands. Others described ceremonies that were once known only to a few. Still others hinted at dark secrets and political plans hidden from the people. Some researchers wonder, were these secrets kept hidden on purpose? Were they too dangerous, too sacred, or too powerful to share? Now, thanks to technology, those lost voices are being heard again. Anyone in the world can go online and explore these symbols, learning about a time when Egypt was filled with both greatness and mystery. As more texts are translated, the image of ancient Egypt becomes more complete and far more mysterious. But perhaps the most amazing discovery of all comes from an even older civilization, one that may have existed before most of the great ancient cities we know about. In southeastern Europe, over 7,000 years ago, the people of the Vinca culture carved strange symbols into clay. For a long time, experts thought these markings were just decorations. But now AI is revealing something extraordinary. These symbols may have been an early form of writing, a written language that came before any others. Using computers to study thousands of Vinca artifacts, scientists are finding patterns that suggest the symbols were used to record information. They may have been used to track trade, share rituals, or even map the stars. If that's true, it would mean that the Vinca people were using writing long before the people of Mesopotamia, who are usually given credit for creating the first writing systems. These discoveries are rewriting our understanding of human history. Were the Vinca people trying to send messages across time? Were they recording knowledge they believed would be important for future generations? As AI helps to translate their code, it feels as if these ancient humans are finally speaking to us. Their symbols, carved into simple clay, now glow with meaning, reminding us that even the earliest people had thoughts, dreams, and ideas they wanted to share. All over the world, ancient secrets are rising from silence. With AI's help, we are hearing voices that were lost for thousands of years. These voices come from women who stitched their pain into thread, from builders who hid rooms inside pyramids, from thinkers who filled scrolls with wisdom, and from forgotten people who left messages in stone and clay. What other secrets still wait to be found? One thing is clear: the past is not finished speaking. It is just beginning to be heard.